Tim Reichon here with Sail Pensacola, here with Dan Ware from Cabrinha, Dakine. He's going to do a demo today on the beach. We are at Key Sailing, and we're going to be here today, Saturday, and tomorrow, Sunday. Right now, Dan and I are going to talk about this gear and what it means for the sport. So Dan, first of all, tell me what you're bringing to the beach today.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. I'm stoked to be here in Pensacola. We have the latest from the 04 collection from Cabrinha wings, and also some accessories from Dakine wind for wing foiling. We also got the kiteboarding gear in the truck, so maybe we'll pull it out a little bit later, but stoked to get some wing gear on the water today.
Fantastic. So is there a relationship between Dakine and Cabrinha?
Yeah, so Cabrinha kiteboarding was founded in the early 2000s in Maui, Hawaii. As of recently, the ownership's changed to a small group based out of South Florida, and specifically in Miami, Florida. And under the same umbrella of our ownership is Dakine Wind as our accessory brand. So they are running parallel with each other, and they both complement each other by way of equipment and also accessories for riding on the water.
Do they break down on the equipment side as one does just boards or wings or kites, or are they both in both sectors?
Yeah, more or less, yes. The Cabrinha specializes in making equipment. There's some accessories that fall under the Cabrinha brand, but Dakine is coming in with all the leashes, helmets, impact vests, bags, all the accessories surrounding the sport for equipment transportation and also use in the water. So two very different sides of what we do. All going to one cause for someone to have everything they need to get in the water.
Hey Dan, before we get into the equipment, tell us a little bit about you and your business, and maybe what your aspirations would be in Pensacola down the road.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. Grew up surfing, and I got into kite surfing back in probably 2011. And through all the years, pretty fortunate to be the East Coast sales representative and Gulf Coast sales representative for Cabrinha and Dakine. I've fallen in love with wing foiling and foil sports over the past 4 years, and I think there's a genuine effort from myself and my group to grow wing foiling into the sailing community, and really just in general, just to grow the awareness of the sport and get more people into it. We have a really heavy focus on youth programming, getting kids into the sport, with that families as well too. So as this class starts to grow and wing foiling, the awareness of it grows, we're hoping to grow with it and bring it to more people than ever.
As you know, Dan, we have quite a connection to American Magic here in Pensacola.
Yeah.
Do you have any linkages with American Magic?
We do. We actually were fortunate enough to meet some of the guys running a youth windsurf. We were running a youth windsurfing clinic over at the Pensacola Yacht Club about 3 years ago. And it was a classic summer day, not much wind. We were towing kids around. We went back to the beach, and we saw Sean Mason and Tyson rigging up some gear, and it was just a simple question of, hey, you guys aren't gonna ride in this, there's no wind. And that conversation turned into emails, and emails turned into us coming back for a couple of visits to visit the team and setting those guys up with some equipment and the rest of the team. So pretty fortunate and stoked to have that relationship and watching those guys, progress and stay on the cup and now call Pensacola home. It's a really special relationship, and looking forward to spending more time with those guys.
Fantastic.
We got a lot to learn from them.
Oh man, and they have a lot to teach.
Yeah.
Well, let's go into some equipment. So tell us where you want to start.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start with some of the boards that we have right here. Small selection from the 04 Cabrinha range of wing foiling equipment. This is our 2024 line, and for 2024, it's probably the most exciting year for us at Cabrinha. We have some really exciting new developments in the board categories. So with this board right here called the Swift. The Swift is built to be a light wind wingboard. So it has a more displacement style hull and more volume than what you would typically use in like a standard planing hull style board, like something behind me here, like the Code. It's displacement hull, higher volume, sunken deck. It makes for a really efficient light wind board. So it's really fast on top of the water. It gets going with little to no power from your wing and gets you up in foiling and really light breeze. So this is coming in a range of sizes from a 6'9" down to a 5'8", and just really exciting developments in the light wind and efficient side of board design from Cabrinha. Going down into the foils, Cabrinha's foil line, the Fusion line, is a really well-rounded line from a mid aspect to a high aspect option. Whether you're wing foiling, foil surfing, kite foiling, tow foiling, pump foiling, you name it. We do have a wing that suits almost every discipline of foiling. And on this site right here, I have our 1240 carbon hollow mast. It's a really versatile line with a ton of products in there for anybody getting into foil sports.
Let's do some up-close shots of that. Talk us through the features of this. You mentioned the sunken deck.
Yeah, for sure. So this is the 6.3 Swift. This is a 100-liter board. As you can see, it has like a really sunken deck here where you're standing. What that does is it lowers the center of gravity in the board, so it makes the board a little bit more stable when you're in displacement mode. It also brings your connection to the foil. You're a bit closer to the foil, so it does make the board feel a bit more direct and gives you better performance of your foil overall. You can see it kind of steps up in the tail and the nose here. There's larger volume in the nose and the tail. That just promotes more volume, better efficiency on top of the water, and gives it a bit more buoyancy. The bottom of the board, it just has a super flat profile all the way through, so a double concave in the nose, flat out the tail. So it releases from the water quite easily when you're going to get onto foil, and it's not sticky. Sometimes you see foil boards with a lot of crazy volume, crazy shape on the bottom and channeling and whatnot. Cabrinha does a really good job of keeping that board design quite simple, efficient, and foils quite easily. I love this board. Spent a lot of time on that thing.
Well, we have the right wind for that board today.
Definitely.
Fantastic. All right, next.
Yeah, so we'll come over here into what you would consider a more traditional style board. This is called the Code. This is our traditional planing hull wing board from Cabrinha. This is a unique one right here. This is a soft deck version that we typically reserve for school use, but happen to have it here on the beach today. This comes in sizes down to a 4.8 60 liter all the way up to a 5.11 135 liters. So tons of range there. And again, the foil setup. This one actually features an aluminum mast and a larger front wing here. This is a 1650. So a little more beginner friendly here. Great for learning, adults, kids. Anybody can jump on a board like this, experience wing foiling. And it's a setup that's very beginner friendly, but also quite progressive. So as you progress, you're getting your first ride, you're jibing, you're tacking. You can really progress in a setup like this. And something to mention that's really nice about the Cabrinha Fusion system, the foil system, is it's totally modular, and you can always plug and play and upgrade as you go. So say you're progressing past a 1650, you want to get into a much smaller wing, you could always just swap out your 1650 for something like the 1240 or 930, whatever size you feel like you can progress into. It's 3 screws, plug and play, super easy. Yeah.
Onto the wings.
Onto the wings. So Cabrinha for 2024 has 2 different wing models. They're both right here on the beach with me. The Vision and the Mantis. From a first glance, maybe it might be hard to see what the difference is. But simply put, the Vision is our higher dihedral freeride wing. It has more flare in the wingtip, so it makes it a bit more stable in hand. It has a little more sheeted and go power. And when you're riding, it's a very, very stable wing. Great for free riding, great for flat water like here in Pensacola Beach, and just a great daily driver. The Mantis is our flatter, more powerful free ride or wave wing. So it has a much flatter profile than the Vision, so not as much flare in the wingtips. It doesn't have quite as much sheet-in and go power, but it's a wing that pumps incredibly well. Once you get a little bit of air moving over the profile of the wing, it has a pretty incredible amount of forward drive and upwind ability. So if you're maybe more of a performance winger or you're in the waves, that same flat profile also makes it flag out and surf on your hip really well. So 2 different wings for 2 different styles of riding, both coming in a huge range of sizes, with the Vision coming in a 6, 7, and 8 meter that's specific for light wind winging. So it's probably blowing 12 to 15 now here in Pensacola. We're gonna go out in the 5s and maybe the 7, see if we can get some light wind winging in today.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. I really look forward to it. Looks like we're having some folks show up. Wanted to shout out to Kirk at Key Sailing for letting us run off the beach here at Quietwater. And we're going to be here today. And tomorrow, you're going to have a little bit different format. What is in store tomorrow?
Yeah, so same location here at Key Sailing. We're going to have an intro to wing surfing clinic. So if you've ever wondered what wing foiling is all about, you want to come down and get your hands on some equipment, ask the questions that you've been meaning to ask, we'd love to see you down here and tell you all about it and get you into the sport.
Excellent. Thanks, Dan. Let's go out there and do some winging.
Thanks, Tim.
On the way to becoming the North American epicenter of high-performance sailing, Sail Pensacola is orchestrating initiatives that make recreational and professional sailors, local, regional, national, and international races, and sailing technology jobs in the Pensacola Bay sailing ecosystem. At Sail Pensacola, we say, sailing is our business. Visit our website at sailpensacola.org.